What kind of starfish are we talking about? 5 different types or what?
Oh, I don't know exactly how many different kinds, but I want to say probably about a dozen or so. In this exhibit here, we have just a handful, and they're all ones that you would find locally here to Southern California, but even up the coast here in the Pacific.
We'll be witnessing the stars of the sea here on another edition of Out and About with Roger Martin. At the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California, the stars are coming out in full force to greet their fans. Stars of the Sea is the latest marine addition to this popular institution, and aquarium staff are rolling out the red carpet so that visitors can get a glimpse of these fascinating and colorful creatures.
So we're here at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California, and this exhibit is called Our Living Coastline. It's a really great experience of tide pool animals that you can even pet here at the aquarium.
I heard there were some starfish about.
Absolutely. In fact, we're celebrating stars with the Stars of the Sea. And we have stars here in this exhibit. You can pet them. You can also look at them. There's a whole bunch of different kinds, so it's really neat to be able to compare and contrast them. And we also have stars throughout the whole aquarium where it's like a scavenger hunt. So you can go around and look for the many different types of sea stars we have here.
It truly is a scavenger hunt, as visitors are encouraged to explore the many tanks in search of the sea star inhabitants. Many are hard to find inside of the large displays, while others are relatively easy to spot inside of their own private bungalow. Sometimes it's hard to even fathom how they can travel around in their shared environment. How do these little guys get around?
So many of them walk. The stars actually have little feet underneath them. Yeah, they're called tube feet. They don't look like our feet, thankfully. That would be very odd.
It would, yeah.
Yeah, but sea stars have these little, they're tiny little tube feet. So it's like a tube with a little suction cup at the end, and they have all kinds of them up and down their arms. It helps them stick to surfaces because when you live on the coast and the water is constantly moving by waves, they actually need to be able to hold on to the rocks. So these tube feet are wonderful for holding, but they're also really great for walking. They help them to eat. They even help them breathe.
Do they inhabit the lower part of the ocean, or is it like a smooth surface and you can reach down and maybe touch them?
Yeah, so if you're looking for sea stars in the ocean, then you're going to want to go to rocky places where sometimes the rocks are pretty jagged, but sometimes they're quite smooth. But sea stars can be found basically everywhere in the ocean. You can find them in the deep sea. I mean, I guess we can't because we can't go to the deep sea very easily. But they can be found in the deep sea. They can be found in the shallows. Even some of them that live in the tide pools, you'll find them out of the water. And it's fascinating that in some ways, some of these stars can actually hold their breath while the tide is out and they're completely exposed to the air and to the sun and everything. But when the tide comes back and they get covered by water, they're fine again. But there's only a few species that can handle that kind of life.
You said hold their breath. Do they have these little lungs? Is that it?
Not really little lungs, no, but it's more like they can just survive without having to have the seawater on them. And that's how they get their oxygen, is they actually get it from the water.
Tell me, are they very social with each other?
Well, I don't know if they hang out and have parties together necessarily, but I have seen some that are totally alone and others that you'll see almost piled up. I've seen some that almost look like they're giving each other a high five, but I think they're actually trying to move around each other.
I'm sure they're unlike certain fish or animals. How do they speak to each other, communicate?
Well, I'm not sure if they do. So what's really cool about sea stars is they actually have no brain. And so a lot of times when you think about communicating, animals communicating, you think about their brains and how they like socialize and they think about things. Stars don't necessarily do that. They just kind of do as they do.
Since Southern California is near the ocean, it's easy for anyone near the beach to glimpse sea stars and other marine life which find themselves caught up in some of the many tide pools which blanket our coast. How does one go starfish hunting?
So if starfish hunting is just exploration, I strongly encourage it. But we want to leave the stars where they are because they're a really important part of the habitats they're a part of. But you can look for starfish in the ocean or here at the aquarium, of course. And what you probably want to do is go to a place called a tide pool. And a tide pool is along the coastline. It's usually very rocky. And you'd want to go when the tide is low. That means that most of the water is kind of further out and it exposes little pools of water, and that's where stars and many other different types of ocean life live.
A decades-old mystery surrounding the mass die-off that affected the sunflower sea star is the focus of one of the aquarium's current efforts, even as marine scientists pinpoint the source of the bacterial infection that is responsible.
Yeah, so the sunflower sea star is one of our conservation efforts here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Sunflower sea stars are the world's largest star. They get to be very, very big. And unfortunately, their numbers out in the ocean are not doing so well. So we want to work with a whole bunch of different partners to help the recovery of their population. And we're doing this through many different means. Some of it is to make sure that their habitats are ready for them when we're able to release them. But right now, we're learning a lot about their care and hopefully breeding and rearing the young so that we can have lots of sea stars, sunflower stars, to release into the ocean at some point. The other thing that's going on is we're actually working with a partner to cryopreserve, so basically freeze the gametes. So that's kind of like when you have a fertilized egg of a sunflower star, and also the larvae. So those are like the teeny tiny babies. They're very, very small.
Looks like there's a science involved in all of this.
Oh yeah, science is a really important part here at the Aquarium of the Pacific, and in fact we actually want all of our guests to be scientists too. So we ask everybody to explore, to learn a little bit, and to have a good time here.
In addition to showcasing their conservation efforts, the aquarium is home to a myriad of other sea stars, which they proudly display. With so many species of sea stars, there is a virtual universe of color and diversity in our oceans. And the Aquarium of the Pacific hopes to tap into that fascination with its numerous programs and exhibits. Since its debut in 1998, the aquarium has never wavered from its original vision: to serve as a place of wonder, respect, and stewardship of the ocean, its ecosystems, and its inhabitants. Stacy, tell us about some of the other attractions here at the aquarium.
Well, besides sea stars, we have so many different animals that you can explore. We have about 12,000 individuals here, so lots of things to see. So from the sea stars and the sea anemones that you can touch in the touch pool, we have moon jellies that you can touch as well, sharks and rays that are also touchable, and of course tons of animals that are not touchable. Like behind us, we have our only freshwater fish here, the steelhead, and then everything else is marine. And we have seals and sea lions, sea turtles, octopuses, and sea otters are definitely a crowd favorite. We even have birds here that you can check out too. Some of them live in the wetlands here in Southern California, and then we have some tropical birds called lorikeets. You can purchase a small cup of nectar and actually feed them in their exhibits. It's a pretty fun time.
Other attractions include the Blue Cavern, where divers don scuba gear to feed the fish, and the sea lions are a popular draw as well, entertaining guests with their playful antics. With 12,000 animals occupying 100 different exhibits, the aquarium invites youngsters and their families to experience and appreciate this silent and beautiful realm that is so crucial to our future and our livelihood.
Well, there's a lot to see here, and you can come visit basically almost any day of the year. The only day we're closed is on Christmas. So the best way to do it is to go online where you can purchase your tickets. And also, if you're planning on coming during a busy time like the weekends or maybe during holidays, the recommendation is to reserve a space online as well.
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. I've been